People often paint the moment of achieving financial freedom as a grand explosion. The popping of champagne, shouts of celebration, or a lavish once-in-a-lifetime vacation. But in reality, it's not like that at all. When the amount of money you once dreamed of officially lands in your account, the first feeling that washes over you isn't ecstatic joy. It is a silence, a strangely profound silence. It is a disappearance. The disappearance of that invisible anxiety that used to weigh heavily on your chest every single morning you woke up. The disappearance of debt reminders, the phone calls that made you flinch, and that gut-wrenching uncertainty whenever you thought about tomorrow. You realize that the very first thing money buys for you is peace of mind. But that peace always comes with a price that no one warns you about. A shift in your relationships. Money inadvertently creates an invisible distance between you and the people you love most. You become successful, you have the means, and your desire to help them is a completely natural instinct. You want to carry the weight of their financial burdens. But we often forget that giving, if not careful, can unintentionally wound the recipient's self-esteem. They begin to view you through a different lens. Compliments become more formal, and the raw, honest late-night talks of the past now give way to caution and reservation. You realize that while you've grown richer, the world around you has suddenly become a little lonelier. Once your relationships settle into a new order, you face an even greater crisis, an identity crisis. The ultimate question, who am I? Let's be honest with ourselves. For many of us, having been poor is the very thing that shaped our character. It was poverty and hardship that forced you to be sharp, to be resourceful, and to learn how to fight every single day just to survive. Scarcity was an enemy, but it was also the teacher that built your resilience. Now, when money has erased every material hardship, that enemy is gone. You are forced to redefine who you are. When you no longer have to scramble for money, when you no longer have to fight just to survive. Stepping out of the armor of a survival warrior into a life of absolute safety is a profoundly disorienting journey. This shift in identity brings a direct consequence. Your drive to work collapses. Before, the engine that pushed you to work 14 to 16 hours a day was crystal clear. Fear. Fear of hunger, fear of homelessness, fear of being looked down upon, fear of a disaster striking without a shield to protect you. It was an escape from catastrophe engine. But once you are safe, that fear vanishes. The old engine breaks down. You can no longer force yourself to work frantically just to see a few more digits increase in your bank account. You are forced to find a completely new engine. Not to run away from poverty, but to move toward growth and sustainable values. You work because you choose to, not because you are forced to just to stay alive. It takes a few years of living in abundance for your mind to truly settle. You stop trying to calculate, measure, or change everything around you. You learn a single word: acceptance. You realize that $1 million net worth is ultimately just a milestone, an experience in the long journey of life, but it was never the final destination of happiness. When all the glamour fades, you learn to return to the most raw and simple values. A wholesome family meal, a night of dreamless sleep, and the authentic, unadorned connection between human beings. Money is an incredible tool. It completely solves material problems and grants you freedom. But at the same time, it is a strict psychological test, presenting you with entirely new challenges regarding your emotions and human connection. Being wealthy is not the end of your problems. It is merely the beginning of a brand new chapter, one where you learn how to live more deeply. Money buys freedom, but peace is something you must find within yourself.